This thing is incredible. How's it going, guys? My name is Chase Farrow and welcome to my channel. Today is a good day because I got a package in the mail over the weekend and I have been dying to open it. Now, if you watched any of my more recent videos, and one of them, I don't remember which one it was, I mentioned that I was going to be putting a new steering wheel in the car. Well, that's what showed up today, so we're going to get it open and I cannot wait. All right, let's get this thing opened up. Here we go. Ooh. Oh, look at that. Oh, dude. That is sick. Oh, dude. This thing is incredible. Look at the carbon. Man, just look at this thing. Now, if you can't tell by the airbag cover, this is actually a custom wheel that I had them build to my specifications. That is one of the services that Overtake Auto does offer. So with my wheel, I had them do a carbon top, carbon bottom with perforated leather grips, carbon fiber thumb grips, red centering stripe, red stitching, flat bottom, and my personal favorite, this is just absolutely amazing. They were able to make me an airbag cover with my logo on it, which is just looks phenomenal. I'm so stoked about that. Now, this particular spec of wheel that I had them do without the airbag cover runs right around $700 to $800. There are a couple other companies out there that make carbon fiber steering wheels for the C5. However, they run right about $1,200 to $1,300 if I remember correctly. It could be a little bit off there, but I know they're north of $1,000. Now, I will say this wheel was sent to me by the guys at Overtake Auto as a part of a sponsor deal that I have with them. I've always told myself that if I ever received any kind of parts, any kind of anything as part of a sponsorship, that I would be transparent about that. Now, the best part about this is because I partnered with Overtake Auto to do this wheel, if you follow the link in the description and use code LUCI, L-U-C-I, you can actually get 10% off of your custom steering wheel for your C5 as well. A massive thank you and a massive shout out to Overtake Auto, because I think this is going to be the piece that really sets the interior of this car off. Now, in the interest of full disclosure, this is technically not my first time seeing this wheel. I originally received it about a month ago, but unfortunately UPS did what they do, and in transit they tossed it around and it got damaged. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the old one boxed up, I'm gonna take it to UPS, I gotta go get some tools, and then we'll get right into installing it. Now, a lot of people get kind of reasonably sketched out when it comes to messing with the airbag. So what I'm gonna do is what I've always been taught, and that is disconnect the battery, let the car sit for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then come back, hold the brake for about 3 seconds. That should get rid of any residual charge in the system. That could be a myth, I don't know, but that's just what I was told. But to be honest, I'd rather do it and it not have an effect than not do it and it would have had an effect. So yeah, that's just what I'm gonna do. All right, so now that the car's sat for a few minutes, the battery's discharged, everything's fine. The first thing we gotta do is get this airbag cover off. There's two T27s on either side of the wheel. The easiest way, turn it either one side or the other, and then you can kind of get it from the bottom. All right, so we got those T30s on the back on either side out, not without drama though. This one on the right was snug, but you know, it was secure, but it wasn't super tight. The one on this side was so tight that even using a T30, which is the size you're supposed to use, the metal that the bolt was made out of, basically the bolt head was starting to strip. I don't know how it got on there that tight, that's insane, but you know, whatever, we're ready to move on. So next part is this. It's very easy. We're just unplugging everything. So that's that. So now the next order of business is we got to get this guy off. I'm gonna go grab a breaker bar real quick and I'm gonna try and get this loosened up. You don't want to take it all the way off because you're gonna wanna use the steering wheel puller then to pull it, and you don't want it to pop off and whack you in the face. So we're gonna go ahead and do that real quick. All right, so I got the puller on. The hooks on the end of these aren't super confidence inspiring. They're not very long. So, I mean, it's on there. So I guess now we'll just go ahead and start seeing how this goes. I'm definitely not gonna sit right in front of it though. Oh yeah, see one of them, dang, that's unfortunate. Oh well, hold on. Turning it that way seems to have worked. Oh, no. Dang it. All right, I was hoping to avoid it, but I think I'm gonna have to take this top and bottom shroud off, so I'm gonna do that real quick. Yeah, that didn't work. So a little update, it's about a week later, and unfortunately I stopped filming because I was running into a whole bunch of problems. I was getting really frustrated. The wheel was pressed on there so hard that I ended up using 4 different steering wheel pullers, multiple types. I used the type that GM recommended. I used the three prong like chicken foot one. I used a 2-prong one. Now on the last one I tried, I got the claws on there, one on the top, one on the bottom. And after cranking on it with the 1/2-inch ratchet, I heard the pop that, or at least what I thought was the pop that everyone talks about, that when it finally releases, and I was like, yes, sweet, I finally get to put my new steering wheel on. Except that pop was not the wheel coming off. That pop was actually the claw taking a chunk of metal out of the back of the factory steering wheel. So at that point, I gave up. I said, I need to walk away from this for a little bit. I'm obviously not doing something right. I ultimately ended up taking the car down to Esteban because we needed to go down and pick up my brother's Acura TL Type S. That unfortunately had a little bit of a mishap with the transmission. And in typical Esteban fashion, what I failed to do in about 7 hours worth of work, he did in I'm not even kidding, about 3 minutes. Now that being said, that does mean I don't have any footage of the installation. Reassembly is just doing the disassembly in reverse. It's very simple. Now there was something I was pleasantly surprised to find out, and that is that the factory steering column has, I believe it's called an index on it, that basically prevents you from putting the wheel on crooked. Overtake Auto does use a factory OEM C5 steering wheel frame to construct their carbon fiber wheels, and so it actually does have the exact spline and even has the little index notch, or I think it's, if I'm using that phrase correctly or if I'm using the right word, it does have the index on it, so you actually cannot put it on crooked. So that was a big concern that I had. I've seen other people in forums have the same concern, and so if you get one of these, you don't have to worry about that. The only thing I will note is that if you get a custom airbag cover, you obviously want to transfer the actual airbag itself from the factory cover to the new one. It's way easier than you think. It's way easier than it looks. It's 4 10mm bolts. It's got like a little plastic tab that wires run through. You just kind of have to work that off of the little studs. And then after that, all you have to do is you basically have on each 4 of the 4 sides of the airbag, it has a little like clip kind of thing that you just have to pull back and the airbag comes right out. It's super, super easy. All of this can be done in less than 5 minutes. But that's it. It's extremely simple, straightforward, and easy if you can get the factory wheel off. But beyond that, it is so rewarding and it looks so good. So I think it's time for you guys to see the final product. That's gonna do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. And remember, if you wanna pick up one of these custom carbon fiber steering wheels for your car, whether it's a C5 Corvette or something else, follow the link in the description and use code LUCI, L-U-C-I, and that'll get you an additional 10% off of your order. But that's it for today. So until next time, drive safe, throw your car batteries in the ocean. I'll see you later. Bye.